Replayability is the key to success when it comes to good single-player games. And I believe it is one of the biggest reasons today we are still talking about Hollow Knight and the game is still relevant, while other good video games in the same genre have long been gone. Ori and the Blind Forest, Metroid Dread, I could name any other video games that are such good Metroidvania games. You buy them, you play them, they're beautiful, they're amazing, and then that's it. You can replay them again and again, sure, but there's not much to be gained out of that experience after you finish the game. This is a problem that Team Cherry, along with the Hollow Knight fandom, in tandem, solved very beautifully. And I want to take that discussion to Silksong, and I want to talk about what Silksong needs for it to also have such a long lifespan like Hollow Knight did, because after Silksong comes out, there's no next sequel hype for Hollow Knight fandom as long as we are aware of. With that out of the way, hello everybody, my name is Primacon and today I'm bringing you a good gameplay slash philosophical discussion about Silksong and its longevity. So if you're a fan of the game, I'm sure you'll enjoy this video. Quick side note, the response on my last video was very humbling. I got like 100+ subscribers on that video. Thank you so much, appreciate you all. I'm glad you're enjoying the Silksong content even though the game isn't even out. So if you like my commentary and you like what I do, help me reach that 10,000 subscribers. We are on our way, more than halfway through now, 6,000+. 10,000, here we come baby, thank you. What I was talking about earlier isn't some rocket science. There's two types of video games in today's industry. There's live service video games and then there's the good single player video games. For live service games, the secret to success is consistent good updates. Fortnite has been doing it better than anyone else, where they revamp their map, their gameplay. If you haven't played Fortnite for a few months and you come back to the game, it's probably going to be a completely different game from what you remembered. That's why it's so successful today. Live service game, it's up to them to not let the game get stale, but when it comes to good single player games, no one does it better than video games like Hollow Knight and Elden Ring. Do you think Elden Ring will still be relevant 2 fucking years after it's launched as much as it is if it wasn't for the insane variety of builds you can do? That game has infinite replayability because there's so many weapons, 100+ weapons, spells, big open world which you can tackle from any angle possible, new game +7, online PvP multiplayer, cryptic lore. And if that sounds familiar, that's because Hollow Knight takes a lot of aspects from FromSoftware games. That's why FromSoftware games are evergreen, even though they are single player games. Compare Elden Ring to God of War Ragnarok. Not a lot of people are talking about God of War Ragnarok as they are about Elden Ring. And granted, there's a new DLC coming out, so the hype is new right now, but still, even last year it was the same thing. Now let's talk about Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is a Metroidvania, as you all know, and we've had some great Metroidvania over the past years. Famous YouTuber Relia, he covers so many Metroidvania games. You can go on his channel and have a look at all the Metroidvania games he has covered. I can name a few on top of my head. Like Age Through Blood came out, Blasphemous 2, Ender Lilies. None of those games, in my opinion, have managed to stay relevant for as long as Hollow Knight has, and the reason is Team Cherry added Godmaster mode. It is the end game of Hollow Knight, and it is such a cool concept. Metroidvania games are all about collecting and unlocking abilities and slowly becoming more and more powerful throughout your journey. But sadly, when you reach the peak of your power, most of the times all you do is fight the end boss and then that's it, game's over. You never get to play that game with that peak of your power, ever. You never get to enjoy that. You never get to hone your skills and master the game mechanics because the game's just over and the only way to play it again is just to replay the game. Elden Ring New Game Plus works so well because New Game Plus lets you just keep all your gear and go through the game again, where they ramp up the difficulty but you get all the cool weapons, abilities and skills and talismans, and you can just start at Limgrave, the starting area, with an endgame character. So fun. Hollow Knight does it in Godmaster where you get to fight all the bosses like fucking Vengefly, Gru's Mother, whatever, with your full arsenal of nail art, spells, and charms. But not only that, Team Cherry were so smart they put those bosses in a pantheon. So you can just have boss rush mode because that's the replayable aspect of Hollow Knight. Once you have gone through the main game and you have explored the land of Hallownest, exploration is something that can never come back the same. You only get to experience it once. But what is replayable is combat. So Team Cherry did a great job with that, and I believe they should add that to Silksong, but that's not my main point about Silksong. That's not what the video title is about. You see, Godmaster gave the Hollow Knight community a second breath of fresh air, and they took that breath and expanded upon it further. Not only is there the challenge runners, not only is there the speed runners, but the reason that's even possible is because of the brilliant people making mods for Hollow Knight. Mods that let you replay certain challenging aspects of the game that are not the boss fights. Case in point being able to repeat Path of Pain over and over again, which is the most challenging platforming section in the vanilla game, and to just be able to do that again and again, it unlocks the whole speedrunning aspect of that community, right? That's one aspect that I feel like Team Cherry could also incorporate in Silksong. How I would do it if I was Team Cherry: if you were to have these events that in story, in lore, only made sense to have experienced once and then they get locked out forever like Path of Pain was, have them infinitely replayable in a new game plus. They're already making a Silk Soul mode which say that it's gonna be more iterative than the Steel Soul mode, simple permadeath mode new game plus was for Hollow Knight. One thing they could add is to have all the challenging one-time events be replayable in a new game plus. That alone would help the game a lot. But you know what? You know where the genius comes in of the Hollow Knight community? They made exploration replayable. That is so fucking smart. And I'm talking about the randomizer mod. Out of all the infinite number of good mods for Hollow Knight that you can download, the most famous, the most infamous mod of them all undoubtedly is the randomizer mod. That mod is so popular that even in the Hollow Knight Discord server, that specific mod has a separate channel on its own. Randomizer mod, basically what it does, it allows you to randomize rooms, it allows you to randomize items, so all the items are random, it allows you to impose certain skips, take away certain skips, and it basically makes Hollow Knight into kind of a roguelite game. That is so fucking brilliant. And that's the main thing that I want Silksong to incorporate going forward. Can you imagine if, like, you know how like Hollow Knight has a God Seeker mode that you unlock once you beat Pantheon 3? If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, once you beat Pantheon 3, if you start a new game, it'll actually give you 3 options. One is just a classic new game, one is the Steel Soul, and then one is a God Seeker mode, which is just the God Home with all the abilities and all the bosses unlocked, and that's there in case you lose your save file or something happens. You can just straight up jump into the end game and fight bosses, because that's the replayable aspect of the game. That's what gives it life in the long run. Now imagine, just like that, Silksong has an inbuilt randomizer mode, where you can tweak different kind of settings of your world, of what items you want randomized, the level of challenge maybe you're looking for, kind of how like other sim games work, like Oxygen Not Included, Don't Starve. Those games let you tweak pretty much every single aspect of the game world before you make a randomly generated seed. And because item randomizers are also randomly generated and the mod allows you to pick and choose what you want random, that is so nice, and I feel like it's been out for so long. If Team Cherry is paying attention to what's been working in the community, that's something they could incorporate into Silksong very well. I'm not saying it's going to be there, but I kind of have some faith and fingers crossed that it's gonna be there. Even if it's not, we can damn well fucking count on the community to add it themselves, because it was so popular in Hollow Knight. Bringing the whole video back to my 3 major points. Point number 1, have a really good boss rush mode like you did in Hollow Knight. It works pretty much perfectly, you don't need to change much about it. Number 2, have the one-time events be replayable in a new game plus setting, like an equivalent to Path of Pain, or maybe an escape sequence. We have seen lava rising in Silksong trailers where Hornet has to escape. I'm sure you can't replay that section in the main story, but have them replayable in a new game plus. Thirdly, they're already incorporating New Game Plus mode to be better, but also have a randomizer mode as a separate mode in Silksong, which will increase its replayability for years to come. Think about it. Right now, Hollow Knight is carried by the Silksong hype, but if you take that hype away and you go back a couple of years when Silksong, no one was expecting the game to come out like immediately, what was carrying Hollow Knight? It's the mods, it's the challenges, it's the speedruns, it's the Godmaster fucking pantheons. If the game didn't have that, this game would have been in obscurity long before Silksong was announced. Because yes, it's a beautiful Metroidvania, but there's so many other beautiful Metroidvanias that no one talks about anymore. Not because they're bad, but because they're not replayable, and that's what carries a single player game. That's my take on Silksong. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this discussion video. I hope you took something important out of it or something new out of it. Maybe I gave you a different kind of perspective that you didn't have before. Thank you for watching. Bye. That's it for Primacon. Signing out. Peace.